So why bad faith? Obviously, I mentioned a bit just then, but why? Why is it so prominent for me that I want to do this and why I want to look into this? Well, I think, to be honest, in academies, especially sort of a cutthroat environment, it's quite ruthless. We all know it. Everybody knows it, and that's just the people who work in it know it. But that's just what it is. That's nothing. Nobody can do anything about it. That's just life, I'm afraid. But then, can you do something about it? Can you maybe not change the world and how it's worked, but sort of help the process for these children coming through and these young athletes that are wanting to maybe just progress to be the best person they are, never mind be a football player. But Childers and Hensley 1995 in that little paragraph says there, describes Sartre's bad faith as like a phenomenon in which pressures from social forces are added, and therefore an individual disown their freedom to adopt false values, which is the perfect description in terms of academy football. The amount of pressures from the hierarchy, your fellow coaches, because realistically you're all subconsciously competing with the coaches around you. You all support each other, don't get me wrong, but you want to be better than they are. You want to do more than they are. You want to stand out more. You want to show that you know a bit more, maybe. So there's the social pressures from there. There's the hierarchy. How are you going to stand out to them? Maybe your philosophy is to promote freedom and maybe promote play and randomness, whereas someone else's might be to be more command and tell people things and show the big personality that they own. So which one's going to be seen more? Obviously the command one. That one's going to be seen more because more people are going to look at someone who's shouting a lot rather than being quiet. Well, that's why I think anyway. Don't get me wrong, people who are higher up in these sort of environments might see it differently. Who knows? We'll probably never know unless we ask. But yeah, the reason why Sartre's bad faith is such a great concept in terms of academy football is because, like I said, it happens every day. It happens from all these social forces that are deeming down on coaches, sort of maybe forces them to act unauthentically. But how do I see that? And am I doing the same, or do I act on it? I guess you could probably say that more than a lot of people I act on it, but in the same way I do sell myself out a lot. I'm not going to lie, nobody's truly authentic 24/7, I don't believe, especially when there are social forces added on. For example, if I'm stood next to me, the big boss on a football pitch, and something goes wrong, and let's just say I've got a certain philosophy to let him try it again, but he thinks it's maybe happened before, so he steps in and it makes me look bad. I'm never going to want that again, ever. I'm never going to want someone to embarrass me like that. So in the future when he's around, I might step into everything. Step into the first mistake, step into kids doing something, trying something and it comes off wrong, and I'll step in and tell them to do it. But that's not my philosophy. That's just a pressure that's come on to me, and then me acting in bad faith. I do put an example narrative in from some times that I've seen it or maybe acted in it, which is quite a good thing to read through. I know, John, you're probably might be the only person to read through the portfolio, and you've obviously read it, so probably you don't have to go through it. It's exactly the same. I've not changed anything about it. But yeah, that's just one of the things why it interests me so much, because it does happen a lot in academies. How can I add research to it? How can I maybe help people in the future realise that what it is and how to maybe help it, and maybe that'll start to introduce more education to coaches and therefore to the kids. So yeah, that's why I chose Sartre's Bad Faith.